What's going on, guys? Welcome to the first episode of Ask Adobeasy, episode 1. I would like to answer some of your questions, and in this episode, I'm just going to be basically answering questions I get often. And then for the next episode, if you want to ask me a question, all you have to do is post in the comments or even hit me up on Twitter or Facebook and just hashtag it Ask Adobeasy and answer a question, and then I can include it in one of the future episodes, or I just might look at some of the questions I have already on other videos that I always get every day. So people have a lot of questions, and I think this is going to be the best way to answer some of them. So one of the most popular topics that people ask me about on this channel is exporting Adobe Edge Animate. There seems to be some confusion whether you can export video or if it's an HTML5 or any other format where you can export. Adobe Edge Animate is an HTML5 development and design program that utilizes JavaScript or jQuery. So when we're talking about exporting, you're exporting HTML5 and then you can utilize it how you want. You can incorporate it in other platforms, you can just have it within static pages, you can have animated pages. It's all about what you want to use it for. Now this is probably one of the most daily questions I get, or weekly questions I get, and that's about Premiere Pro. Adobe Premiere Pro CC gets a lot of updates, but it seems to be confusing for some people because they might have a version of Premiere Pro where they don't have a tool, they can't mask something, they can't blur out the background, all these kind of things that they want to do in Premiere Pro, but they don't have the newest version. I have to tell you, as someone who uses Adobe CC, I realize there's a lot of updates. I mean, just for an application, because sometimes when you're using Adobe CC, as you guys know, if you're using it every month or every other month, you might see an update. There might be new features included, and sometimes it's a little bit hard to keep up with what Adobe is doing because there's so many updates sometimes, and they're working so much on these applications, which is a great thing. But for people who are trying to learn, and you might have an older version of Premiere Pro, there's a good chance that you're not getting some of these features because you don't have the newest version. So that's the easy answer. And if you're even confused by this, there are ways to just uninstall Premiere Pro, I mean completely. There's cleanup scripts and all that kind of stuff where you completely remove Adobe Premiere Pro from your computer, and then you could test out the new version if you don't know what it's all about, and you could try it out. And that's the best advice I can give you. If you're not sure if you want to buy one of these applications or even get Adobe CC, try out one of the applications because Adobe still allows you to do that, and I think that's a fantastic way to know if you want to have the application or not. Another popular topic, Adobe Premiere Pro and After Effects. Now some people get confused on which application they should use for what. Is Premiere Pro for editing? Can you use effects? Can you use some of the features in Premiere Pro in After Effects and vice versa? You know, I see the confusion out there. Based on your questions, I would say focus on Premiere Pro as an editing tool because really that's how Premiere Pro is sold by Adobe. They want you to use that for editing, and of course with After Effects you can add effects. Now, Adobe has been adding effects to Premiere Pro, even adding audio effects, all of these other kind of things to the application. But if you're really just looking to focus on editing, Premiere Pro is the application of choice. Then when you look at After Effects, you can get into more advanced effects and adding that kind of stuff to your video. The reason why I'm even saying this is because when we look at Premiere Pro, some people get confused whether you should be using animation for your text in Premiere Pro or if you should be bringing your project to After Effects and just do it there. You know, Premiere Pro is a great program for editing, and it does have some basic effects which are pretty cool, or even some advanced effects now because the application keeps getting better. But if you want to do something like animate text, which is another thing people ask me about all the time in Premiere Pro, you really want to go to After Effects because you can use keyframes and you can get into more advanced editing where you can make a really cool presentation with your project. So I would say After Effects is for effects, basically, and for some simple edits. And then Premiere Pro is for editing with some cool effects now because the application keeps getting better, like I said before, but you really want to do editing in Premiere Pro because in Premiere Pro, you can actually connect the project or video you're working on with After Effects and then have it easily incorporate into your project in Premiere Pro. And in this final topic of Ask Adobeasy, let's talk about fonts because everyone wants to know where you can get some cool fonts. The Font is a great website. I'll put a link in the description to there. They have free fonts, amazing fonts over there. 1001 Fonts is another great website, another link in the description to there. So it depends. If you have a subscription to Adobe CC, you can get fonts there. You can also get it through those two websites. I mean, there's a lot of access to fonts these days. So if you're really interested in design, and I know a lot of you guys who are working on After Effects projects, Premiere Pro, using Photoshop, Illustrator, a big part of your projects is the actual design. And fonts are a very important part of the project. So my best advice about that is take your time when you're selecting a font and go research it. You know, see what you like out there and learn about some of the fonts, because if you learn about the design of fonts, you can also incorporate these much more easier into your projects. So that's the first episode of Ask Adobe Easy. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Holler back at me. Let me know what you thought about this first episode. Would you like to see more episodes of this on the channel, answering questions, even specific questions that you guys have? If you have some of them, post your questions in the comments or hit me up on Twitter or Facebook. Hashtag it Ask Adobe Easy, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.